This book belonged to my grandma, my dad's mum, and he's very kindly given it to me. And obviously it's very special because it belonged to my grandma, and it's quite dog-eared, but it's even more special because what's inside, which I shall show you. The book itself seems to have come from Bristol Library. Occasionally libraries sell off old books, so I'd like to think that Grandma got it that way and she didn't just not take it back. Now, what's special about this book? See if I can find the first one to show you. It's coming up. Is that throughout the book, if my grandma liked the recipe, she marked it with a VG for very good, or good, or just little comments, and I love that. It makes it even more special to me to know the recipes that my grandma actually cooked, and she may well have cooked them for me. My brother and I used to stay there a lot when we were children. My grandma and granddad lived in a little village called Pucklechurch in South Gloucester, and we stayed there a lot in the holidays, and she liked to cook, and she was quite particular in that she liked us all to sit at the table. We always had a tablecloth and our own napkin in a napkin ring, and she used to make lovely meals and serve everything in dishes on the table, and some of these recipes might have been ones that she made for us in those days. So I thought it would be quite interesting to go through the book, find all the recipes that my grandma may have made, like she's ticked this one here, and recreate them. So I'm going to flick through, find all the ones that she's made, and then have a go at making them myself. And I thought that you could make them with me, and then we'll see how they turn out. And as this book is so old, I wouldn't have thought it really mattered if I show you the recipes. I hope not, anyway. So that's what I plan to do, and I'm going to write out a list of all the recipes and the pages that they're on that my grandma has made. Some of them she might not have put a mark next to. Beef goulash, very nice. But the pages are quite dirty, so I'm assuming, and some of them are very loose, that she may well have made the recipe several times, because just there's like these. This is the type of thing that happens to my recipe books. So I obviously got that from her. So I'm going to recreate what my grandma once made. I also have this old book of my grandma's, and I shall be picking some recipes out of this one too. Granny's Spice Cake. You will need 12 ounces of self-raising flour, or 12 ounces of plain flour, and 3 level teaspoons baking powder. I used self-raising flour and baking powder because I didn't read the recipe properly, but it worked out okay in the end. 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. The recipe said allspice, but I'm not sure if that's old-fashioned for mixed spice, but I only had that, so that's what I used. Sieve the flour and the spice and the baking powder into a bowl. Trying not to make a mess. added the sugar, but no, add the butter first. You need 4 ounces of margarine or butter, and then you just mix them together until they become fine, like fine breadcrumbs. Now I can add the sugar. You need 6 to 8 ounces of soft brown sugar. You mix that in. Then 6 ounces of mixed dried fruit. I just had sultanas, so I use that. Then you need 2 beaten eggs and enough milk to make soft dropping consistency. This took a while to mix in, and like me, you might need to add the rest of the milk. Once it's completely mixed, you can pour it into your cake tin that you have already greased and lined with greaseproof paper. Here's one I did earlier. It's quite heavy, but pour as much as you can into the tin. Smooth it round nice and level, and you've made a cake. Then you just need to pop it in the oven for 180 degrees centigrade, but I used 160 because I have a fan oven, or I think it was gas mark 4, and there's the finished cake, and it was delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you try to make the cake yourself. Thanks for watching.